You are not for their entertainment. And when you are not for someone's entertainment, jealous, envious people who desire to bully you will be upset with you and treat you some kind of way, all because you refuse to let them make you their entertainment. You are not a woman that is meant to be looked at as a clown. You are not a woman that is not meant to be taken seriously. But when you go into different interactions and different situations and you give the impression that you're to be played with, that is when some people take your kindness for weakness. Feminine, confident, wise women, we know how to give a first impression. We understand that people treat you the way that you treat you. So if you go into different situations trying to please everybody and trying to just go with the flow of things and make people think that you are something that you are not, that is a recipe for allowing people to play in your face. And that is not something that we do as confident, wise, feminine women. We set the tone for how people treat us. So if you go into a situation, be it a work environment, be it business, be it your family function, and you go in being, oh, hello, everybody. Da, da, da. Oh, yeah, I'll get it. I'll do it. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll do this. I'll do that. Oh, yeah, you can depend on me. Yeah, call me anytime. If you go in with that kind of mentality and you are not genuinely that type of person, you are setting yourself up to be the target of somebody's bullying down the line. You know why? Because a lot of people, they go off of your first impression. And if you give the impression that you're a clown or you give the impression that you're something you're not, people, especially weak-minded bullies, they're going to run with that. They're going to say, oh, we can always depend on her to bring something because she's the coworker that does that. We can depend on her to be the family member that's going to rescue me from my messiness because she always does that. And you see, the bad thing, and it all comes down to authenticity, the bad thing about not showing up as your authentic self is that when you do go into your authentic self, people don't like that version of you. They like the representative. That's the reason why I don't like the idea of code switching. A lot of times people code switch in the workplace because they look at that as somehow a form of respect to, switch off their real personality and switch on their real personality. And I don't believe in doing that. I believe that you should just show respect across the board. Just be yourself across the board. And speaking of the workplace, code switching is absolutely dangerous in the workplace when you do not allow your real personality to show through at least a little bit, because if you're constantly smiling in Billy, Bobby, and Joe and them's face and you suddenly get upset with something, now you have to suppress how you truly feel because they're used to you being the girl that's always just smiling and, anything you say, I'm okay with. But then you go into your car and cry. See, when you're first starting off in the work field or when you're starting off as a grown woman, you are often eager to please. But when you go through enough of life, you realize that I can't live this like double life. I can't have these two different types of personalities. So I'm going to have to show up authentically in order to get people accustomed or get them used to who I really am. It's so important, ladies, to always be authentic to who you are, no matter where you are, even in the workplace. Your character as a woman, as a feminine woman, should always be to show respect. But when you are in the workplace, sometimes, people, they put on those performances. And that's the reason why I don't really like the idea of feeling like you have to perform and switch on and switch off in the workplace. Once I got into my late 20s, my 30s, I stopped switching on and off. Like, I show respect to all of those who are above me and those who are below me or in the same position. But I do not allow people, for the sake of their title, to talk to me and treat me however they want to treat me. And if you give the impression that you're so eager to serve, so eager to please, people will begin to talk to you crazy, no matter where you are, be it in the workplace or in your everyday life. And ladies, that's why we have to show up as our authentic self. Don't feel like you need to shape shift into something that you're not in order to please other people. And that takes me to another point about the bullying that you might see in the workplace, especially from female bosses, female superiors. It's because oftentimes a lot of the workers, a lot of women, they'll go in trying to be a sister girl, sister friend with a lot of these women who are in these higher positions, not realizing that a lot of the women, not all, but a lot of the women that are in these positions of power, oftentimes they have a lot of ego tripping and power tripping. They let the authority go to their heads. And when they do that, they refuse to look at you as someone on the same level as them as far as personhood. You might not be on the same level as far as your position, but you are the same as far as your humanity. And a lot of women, especially women in position of power, once they get that title of CEO, manager, supervisor, whatever it is, they start looking at other people as if they are beneath them, especially the women, especially if the boss is a little bit jealous, a little bit insecure, and you happen to be the cute, kind, and friendly, cooperative girl in the office or wherever you work. You might have issues with your female boss. You ever wonder why many women do not prefer to have female bosses? It's because a lot of women who are in those positions of power, not all, but a lot, oftentimes they use their position as a way to somehow bully the female employees, the cute employee, the kind employee, the cooperative employee. And the reason why I say that, and the point of me telling you this, is to prove and to give you the reason why you always want to show up as your authentic self, especially in the workplace and when you're dealing with other women. You do not want to give the impression that just because she's your manager or your supervisor, that you're going to allow her to talk down to you or disrespect you or to bully you or to make you do demeaning tasks or talk to you in a way that is not respectful. You have to set the tone once again for how they treat you. I had a female boss when I used to be an assistant manager at a retail store. I had a manager, and in the beginning, she was very harsh, very abrasive. She talked to me like I was absolutely nothing, and that irritated the mess out of me. But for a very long time, I didn't say anything. I just observed her, and when I started to notice that it wasn't just me that she talked harshly to, it was everybody. She was just that kind of person. And that is no excuse to tolerate somebody's bully, bad, mean-spirited behavior, but it did make me feel a little better in the moment to realize that it wasn't just me, that was just her way. So there was one incident that happened with a customer where I didn't remember what to do, and she berated me, she belittled me, she put me down so bad in front of the customers. And back then I was still doing that code switching thing where it's like, okay, boss, like, yeah, whatever you say, like, okay. She put me down so bad in front of the employees and the customers, I just lost it. I switched out of that character and said, who are you talking to? You are not, and I just let her have it. I just let her have it. Look, I was not in my femininity that day. I let her have it. I absolutely let her have it because I'm like, I'm a person. Like, wait a minute. It's like that grown woman kicked in. I'm sorry, forgot to turn my sound off. It's like that grown woman kicked in, and I'm like, who are you talking to? Like, you're not going to talk to me like I'm your child. So, and that brings me to the point that when you're dealing with women who are like that, when you're dealing with women who feel like they can somehow bully you in some way, unfortunately, and I know I just did a video about not matching energy, but unfortunately, there will be a time where you may have to match somebody's energy for one moment. And I know that might sound double talkish or hypocritical, but when somebody is being blatantly disrespectful to you, there will be times where you'll have to show them, I am not the one. You don't carry yourself that way, and this is completely in your defense. See, feminine women, wise women, we don't go looking for trouble, but when trouble comes, when somebody tries to bully you, when somebody tries to put you down, that is when you have to set the tone for how they're going to treat you. And back then I was younger, so I didn't really, realize that, you know what, I should have told her from the beginning, like, who are you talking to? I should have responded back the way that she was responding to me. But, eager to please, want to make sure I'm doing my best. I'm there to work. It's about money, all that kind of stuff. Until it's like, wait a minute, I'm grown just like she's grown, and you don't carry yourself that way. And often that's the problem too, because a lot of women who are not ratchet, not ghetto, not bullies, don't have that mean-spirited way about them. Oftentimes we are the target of other women's bullying and rage and their misplaced anger and frustrations, because we are more soft-spoken, maybe more cooperative, more nice, more friendly. And because of that, it's almost like they have to, what do they say? F around and find out. It's like that kind of thing, And we don't really want to have to go there, but we allow them to kind of self-destruct. And when I say self-destruct, it's that they're going to do enough until they realize you're not the one. And that's kind of like the young girl way of doing things. Honestly, as grown women, you really have to go in, like I said in the beginning, setting the tone for what you will deal with and what you won't. Responding to bad behavior in its onset and not allowing things to go on longer than it needs to go on. So when it comes to dealing with jealous, envious bullies, women who desire to use their authority against you, they think that because they're the CEO, the boss, because they're head of the sorority, because they're head of the social club, because they are the lead whatever, that gives them a right to talk to you however they want to. That is absolutely not the case. You are not for anybody's entertainment, and you are not anybody's punching bag, be it physical or mental or verbal. Nobody has the right to talk down to you. And sometimes for a moment, you can call it matching energy, but I just say it's being authentically who you are. A lot of these awkward interactions with women who desire to bully and, are a little bit jealous and envious of other women, these things wouldn't go on as much as they do if women actually saw the red flags and responded to them at its onset. Don't let things go on longer than what they need to go on, especially when you're dealing with somebody who has some kind of authority over you, such as a workplace, a jealous female boss, a jealous, classmate that might be head of some kind of, association, and you have to take orders from them. Bear in mind, just because somebody has a title, and some people might not like this, but a lot of these women who have this power tripping, ego tripping, feel like they have to throw their authority in other women's face, it's oftentimes because they don't have anything else going on for them in their lives. If a woman's whole life, and I know this probably is not going to sound comfortable to a lot of women, but if you've been on this channel any amount of time, you already know that I do not care. It is what it is. A lot of women, because all they have is their careers, all they have is their degree, all they have is that little title, and it might not be a little title, it's a nice title, a good title, something they worked for at their job. If that's all they have, and they don't have any personal fulfillment, as in relationships, as in other family, as in things they just enjoy to do, it's always the grind. If they don't have a spiritual bent, they don't have a relationship with God, and their whole life is consumed by having to prove themselves to corporate, yeah, I'd be a little bit like witchy too, If that was my whole life, where I go to school for 4, 5, 6, 8 years, only to spend my entire life trying to prove to somebody else's corporation that I don't even own, that I have no stake in other than my, check every week or every 2 weeks, I'd be a little witchy too. So you really have to recognize that when women power trip sometimes in that way, that's all they have. And that's the reason why I no longer worry about, a jealous female boss, or, she's trying to make things hard for me. Yes, absolutely. In the workplace, you have to tell people what it is, tell them in a respectful way, but do not tolerate disrespect. But when I see a woman kind of power tripping a little bit and talking, you know how sometimes women like to do, to try to sister girl you and try to put you back in your place. Sometimes, for me, where I am in life right now, I'm just like, you got it. This is probably all you got. You got it. This is all you have. Good job. I'll let you exercise those authoritative muscles, and then I'm going to go home and enjoy my life. This is just one part of my life, not my entire life. But for some women, you know, their career, that is that's the totality of their life. That's all they have. And having a career is great. I'm not saying having a career is not good. Don't misunderstand me. Having a career, having a degree, that is absolutely great. I think education is wonderful, and every woman should have the highest form of education that you want to pursue. That's not the point. The point is that a lot of times these women who are jealous, envious, often negative bullies, especially in the workplace, because all they have is their title, because all they have is that position, that's the only place they feel powerful or like they have any kind of control. Sometimes they have to use you as the object of the thing they want to control because they don't have it anywhere else. Nobody else is going to put up with them. So here at the workplace is the only place they have a little bit of authority, a little bit of a leadway where people will put up with them, if you know what I mean. So it's like, you know, in that regard, when you're dealing with jealous, envious women, it's like, this is all you have, sis. After I leave here, me and my man, me and my kids, me, myself, and I'm going to spend time with God, going to relax and enjoy my life. I'm not thinking about this once I leave. And a lot of women, even when you have that kind of mentality, which is an unbothered mentality, a lot of women, especially at your job, they're not going to like it because they don't like the idea that you don't take the job as serious, or you don't take this organization or whatever it is that they have control over. If you don't take that thing as serious as they would like you to, they're absolutely not going to like you. They're not going to like the fact that you're not pressed by the fact that a report is not on the table or on that desk by tomorrow morning, because you have options. And this is not an invitation for a woman to go into work and not do your very best. I just mean when you're there and you're not giving it your all, you're giving it exactly what it needs to get. Nothing more, nothing less. You don't carry work home with you. You don't worry about what Betty, Bob, and them are saying at the water cooler. You don't worry about those kind of things. When you don't take those little menial things as serious as some of these bully-minded, jealous, envious, toxic coworkers or female bosses do, they're not going to like you. I have witnessed that in my own life. I have had people, different coworkers, complain to me about different tasks and about why this isn't running right and that's not running right, and I don't understand this and I don't understand that. And I listen, I just be like, that's crazy. You know why? Because I'm there to get a check, nothing more, nothing less. And when you have that mentality in the workplace, some people are not going to like you, especially your female bosses who know that you're just there for the check. Like, you don't care about all those other things. And honestly, I don't know how we got on the workplace. I think because I think that's the theme. Many people are talking about jealous female bosses and how they're not able to really just be at work, just exist, where a lot of people are trying to make them be performers in the workplace, and you're not there for that. You're not there for their entertainment. I think that's the reason why I'm on this so much, because this is a real thing that a lot of women, a lot of people, men too, deal with in the workplace often. All that bureaucracy, all of that, negativity, all of that power, ego tripping and all of that, we don't have time for that. We go there to get our money and go home. So don't allow anybody to pressure you into feeling like you have to perform for them. And the only way you can do that from the beginning is to show up as your authentic self. You can scathe off a lot of bullies, envious, jealous, toxic people when you let them know who you are from the beginning in a respectful way. Can you be kind? Can you be nice? Can you be cooperative? Can you be respectful? Absolutely, you should be. But if you don't like something in the workplace, or you don't like how somebody's doing something or saying something, say something about it. That's the big girl thing to do. Don't sister girl your bosses, female bosses, and all of that, because I guarantee you, they do not see you on the same level as them unless you are on that same level as them. All right? Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.